How you doing, everybody? Family, church. I found a mic drop in the Bible. Now, for people who don't know what a mic drop is, a mic drop is when there's a big argument going on and somebody demolishes it with just one line, and then they just drop the microphone and just walk away. Mic drop, boom, and just walk off. Well, Jesus has a few of them, and I'd like to go over some of them. So here's the first one I'd like to talk about. Okay, so Daniel is under a king who makes a rule that makes a law that you can't pray to nobody but the king for so many days. And Daniel, of course, keeps praying to his God, and so they trap him up and bring him before the king. Like, look, king, he broke your law, and the king didn't want to put him in the lion's den. But the Bible says you can't change the law. Once you put it into effect, they told him, said, look, king, you know you can't change the law. Once you make a law, you can't change it. So if that's true for a king, then it's way more true for a God, because a God should be able to see from the beginning to the end. So God should be able to make a rule and it stay true throughout all time. If you are all knowing and you're a God and you create time, then from the beginning to the end, the same rules should apply. You should be so smart, so intelligent that you don't have to change the rules. So that's why it's such a big mic drop for what Jesus did. So they catch a woman in adultery. And they bring her before Jesus and they say, look, Jesus, it says in the law that we should stone her to death, caught in the act of adultery. Right here in your book, you wrote it. If you're God, you wrote this, and it says we should stone this woman. So what do you say about that, Mr. Jesus? And Jesus, acting like he ain't even paying attention to him, drawing in the sand, he said, okay, let me add another command. Because see, you can't change it. You can't, as God, if he's God on earth, he can't say, well, God, I didn't really know what I was saying back then. Let me change it. No, you can't do that. God, just like a king, once he sets something in motion, it's in motion till the end of time. That's why Jesus says, listen, till heaven and earth pass away, not one tittle or one jot of the law shall pass. So that's why it's such a big mic drop when he says, let me just add a command to this. So you can still stone people, but we'll start it with whoever hears without sin. You can cast the first stone. He's not asking them. He's not making a suggestion on how to stone somebody. He is adding a command. Whoever hears without sin, you can go on and start throwing the stones. Mic drop. Boom. Because they wanted to throw them. These guys wasn't like, oh, you know what, he's right. Let's leave it alone. No, these people were there with ill intent to trick Jesus up into something to where it would make his word go against himself. So they were wanting to cast these stones, just looking at her like, man. But Jesus didn't ask. See, he made a command, and all creation must follow his commands. So one by one, from oldest to youngest, they dropped their stones. So that means today, ladies and gentlemen, you can still stone people, but you got to be without sin to do it. So see, he didn't change the law. He didn't say, all right, that's no longer in effect. He said, no, you can still stone people. As long as you're clean, you can start it. Nobody here's clean, so nobody can start it. So he didn't change the rule. Just like he says, you have heard of old time to not commit adultery. But I say, if you look upon a woman to lust after her. So see, he's not changing it. He's in fact adding to it. It doesn't say you can't add to the law. But by adding the whoever's without sin can cast the first stone, he makes the other part in none effect, because nobody here on earth can do that. So I'm just saying, mic drop.